Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Buzz, buzz, babies. We're live on a Wednesday night. Post cancellation, rescheduling last minute. So happy to have these guys pop in. Really appreciate you both coming on the show. Mario Candelaria is here. He's got Killchella en route to comic shops, and next week I believe launching a pretty sexy looking Kickstarter I'm excited about. And we got Mr. Six Figure Pat Shand is in the house, hanging out with us before he heads off to New York to impress everybody with his awesome books. Also with a Kickstarter live right now, Destiny Volume 6. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, doing well.
Very good.
Right.
I am very good.
Man, I don't know if anybody's been watching the internet today. Here he is. The Kaiju Master himself, Stephen Prince in the house. What's up, baby?
Everybody?
How
How's
you
it
doing?
going?
Hey.
Good, man. How
Hello.
are you? Hey.
What's up, man?
So I know we're here to talk about Kickstarters and comics, but I can't. I feel like everybody knows or should know. There's been some big news dropping all day today. I feel like, and I know two of you guys here work with worked with Scout, are working with Scout, have books out with Scout. Charlie Stickney just announced he's stepping down as co-publisher. What are your guys' thoughts on that? That's fucking huge, man. He's been like a big time recruiter there for a while, like with his the puppeteer behind the scenes. Like it's a crazy announcement.
It is. Yeah, Charlie's my man. He is probably one of my top 5 closest comics friends. So I can say that he's good. His shit's gonna be good no matter what he touches. It's gonna be beautiful. As far as Scout, I'm also intrigued to see how that goes. At Scout, I like James, I like Richard, I like everyone who I've talked to there. Despite them leaving half of my first issue of As of the Barbed half unlettered, I accept that. I think it's going to be good for everybody. Charlie is, he was in the executive role, sort of helping creators, but at his core, Charlie's a creator. The reason that I initially reached out to him was because I read White Ash, and as I was reading number 1, I was like, oh, this is a good comic. I haven't read one of these in a very long fucking time. This is a good comic. Mm-hmm. So I reached out to Charlie, and we've been talking ever since. And so he's a creative. He's going to do his own thing, and he's going to do it beautifully.
Yeah, he's going live in a couple weeks with the game. So he's and that guy. I don't know if anybody's familiar with his Kickstarters, man. They fucking print money, and as well they should.
Charlie's the king, man.
He makes great comics. David Hazan's in the house. What's up, baby? From across the world, man. You need to get out of here and start working on right. You need to be writing Nottingham, not watching Blake's Buzz Live. Just kidding. Love to have him here. I
think he's in New York, right?
Oh, he is. He's in the States. Yeah, I forgot. He's on his he's doing the David Hazan Crosses the Ocean tour. He's got a sweet ass little vacation. Like he's going to a whole bunch of places. But yeah, so the big shows this weekend are all you guys going? I know Mario and Pat are. Steven?
No.
Oh,
no.
I haven't traveled in a while. I'd like to do. I mean, I'm from New York. I'd love to do that show at some point. It's just kind of coordinating it with 2 little kids and everything is.
Oh, yeah. I hear that makes things hard. I remember like this year for SDCC, like a week before the show, someone was like, "Hey man, like if you can get down here, I have a press pass." And I was like, "And stay and eat and live." Like I was like, that would be so cool, but I couldn't afford to do it. It would be cool. I would love to hit up some shows. That's the one thing like I haven't done. Like I've done so many interviews and ever since launching like Blake's Buzz and like doing all this shit, but I haven't got to like take my shit show to a con yet. So that's like the next step. Like like have a bunch of stickers and hand them out and be like press and that'd be dope.
There's a KC con, isn't there?
Yeah, I wanted to go this year, but I should have applied for a press pass and I didn't. So hopefully next year I'm going to apply for a press pass to some places. And like I was thinking about like taking the train to Chicago and like doing like C2E2. I heard they give press passes to like they're very generous with their press passes. So I don't know. That's the plan maybe.
Generous or not, you should be able to get one anywhere, dude.
No problem.
Yeah, where are you again?
Kansas City.
How close is that to Baltimore? I don't know shit about geography.
I'm in like right in the middle of everything.
Dude, come to Baltimore this month. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's gonna be a crazy con. That show I like a lot because it's a mixture of, it's big enough to draw publishers, but it isn't big enough that walking through the aisles is a nightmare,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a really good con for comics people. It's good.
Yeah, it's a real creators con from what I gather.
Yeah.
That's another one I'd like to make it out to at some point, but I've heard it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And plus they got hip hop fish and chicken there, and I mean that's good dining there, dude.
Yeah. That does sound good. Paperback Dan's in the house. I'm glad he was gonna go to sleep. Thanks for topping in. Yeah, I'm not close to anything, but I thought you were going there. Are you going, Dan? Are you press, or are you just going there as like a civilian to nerd out and have fun? Let's see. All right, so yeah, like I said, big news in the comics today. I'm still kind of shocked. Like I said, he's Charlie's been on the show for a few times, and I'm super happy for him. And I love his comics, so I want him to be able to like go create. But I do know a lot of people at Scout. Like he's helped out a ton of people, so I hope. And I'm sure he'll still be around to like help people. It's not like he's gonna retire to some cave and pop out every few months.
He's got big plans. Charlie's got big plans, and he's not only one of the nicest guys in comics, he's probably one of the smartest too.
Dude, I learned the first time I interviewed him, I learned so much. I was like, holy shit, this guy's like,
he's got a lot of
Charlie's he's got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, he really does. He whether it's traditional publishing or Kickstarter, he gives the best advice. Dude. I mean, there's going to creators for Kickstarter advice right now in 2022. It's a weird market right now. Half people are saying go to Zoop, which fucking horrible idea, of course.
I'm not hearing that at all.
Yeah. But yeah, Charlie is someone who really has it down to his science, and he tries different things per campaign. He's done shit I never even heard of before. Like I mean, this is kind of inside baseball, but I usually pick an image from one of my covers to have as the main campaign image. Charlie commissioned someone to draw to the size a specific campaign image that he then gets made up, I think, as either a sticker or a widescreen print that he gives with every purchase, and it's just it's so cool. It's really, really unique and cool.
I don't think there's necessarily anything really wrong with Zoop. It's just right now it's kind of a tumultuous time on Kickstarter. Some people are having a lot of luck. Some people are struggling, and it's not the best time to, take your campaigns to somewhere that has a limited audience and that people they just don't have the numbers yet. I think eventually they can get there, but yeah, it's a weird time for crowdfunding right now.
I backed a few Zoop books. I mean, it really is. If I know a creator who's there, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of their stuff independently outside of just people you know.
Yeah,
so, once the audience and the reach gets bigger, I think it should hopefully be a better platform.
Yeah, I think
so. Go ahead.
Yeah, to me, it's a I'll see what's up in 5 years kind of platform. It's Kickstarter has had years and years to build an algorithm. It's like social media, it boosts campaigns that are seeing engagement, that there are certain ways that you can boost your campaign in the algorithm. It has this really built-in newsletter system through the updates. So now, I mean, with every campaign that you do, you essentially have a built-in newsletter that you can blast out through. And no matter if you're doing an update or if you're just going live, everyone who's back before goes, oh, here's another book from Pat Shand. Here's another book from Mario, and it's no other platform can match that because of the infrastructure yet. But 5 years, who knows, we'll see.
Yeah, and I've done the same. Like I've backed a handful of Zoop books too, but yeah, like I said, it's just like you have Kickstarter it's that built-in. It's a creative suite, and it does everything you want it to do, and also, so many people have audiences on Kickstarter. Like, I mean, Pat, you have a very loyal audience. And and Destiny's doing well and stuff. And so just like, I don't know, to take that to a fresh platform, it'd be kind of terrifying, I think, too. Like,
yeah, but that's what they need. But that's one of the things for Zoop, with like major whatever mainstream creators, they do really big campaigns. But the indie stuff, the stuff you'd usually like do well on Kickstarter, they're struggling to get an audience there. And if someone like Pat or Charlie or one of the big ones went over there, they would probably be able to draw more of that audience. But there's really no incentive yet for if you've got a good thing going on Kickstarter, why there's really why are you going to shake it up? There isn't the incentive there yet to get to get over there. But they have a great interface. They have a great platform. And like you said, in 5 years,
yeah, they could be something special, because I know the creators like them. Like, I mean,
no, they're really nice. I've spoken to them. I like them a lot. It's just it's that challenge of how do I get the audience there, right? Because everyone hates signing up for another platform.
Yeah, that's a major part of what it is.
Yeah.
It's a major part of what it is. And I mean, to me, the way that I look at it is, even if Zoop, and I see in the comments crowdfunder being mentioned.
Yeah, man, there's too many.
It's rough. It's rough. That's what a weird time to join the fray. But what I hope though is that Kickstarter needs competition. They need to see that it's not just them in the market. They need to be able to look at these sites and go, oh, what do people like about how this looks? How can we apply this to us and make Kickstarter better and keep improving? Because right now they have no real incentive to improve. They are a monopoly. So as long as they see Zoop and Crowdfunder as a potential long-term competition, hopefully they can better their platform by looking at what they do as well.
You guys remember when all of those other stores started trying to compete with GameStop and game trade-ins? Once I think articles came out saying GameStops make like $1.5 billion a year in trading used stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of this a little bit, where you see other competitors trying to pop up to capitalize on that model.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. The one that I would say is maybe has potential is, I know that Backer Kid is trying to do their own platform.
That's weird. Source Point Press just did something with them for the limited edition trade for the Winchester book they have out.
Yeah, and people love Backer Kid. I tried it for Cheeky, a campaign that I did back in June, and I was just putting it together and getting no real help or no clarity there, and I was just like, fuck this, no.
Yeah,
I pulled out of that. It doesn't seem very user friendly. So I'm interested to see though how they'll, develop. Because right now they're essentially a pledge manager. It's going to be interesting to see how they move into the crowdfunding space and really become, hopefully, a site. Go
ahead. Their advantage though is that they have, if you've backed a Kickstarter campaign, you likely are in, so that's the advantage they have, is that it's not another thing to sign up for, because you're already signed up there. So once they figure out how they can utilize that, I think they'll probably be a little bit more competitive than the other two, just by virtue of people already being in that ecosystem. So
100% agree.
We got Rob Rex in the house. Thanks for tuning in, baby. Fucking Renton. Renton's been on the show before. He has a really fucking dope Substack that everybody should subscribe to. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Inking and drinking, baby. I'm out of booze, so I ate a gummy again. So it's starting to get weird. It's not a powerful one. I mean, it's a good. I'm feeling good. Basically.
What are you talking about? 5 milligrams? 10 milligrams?
It's a my buddy makes them, and he doesn't
Oh,
sort
yeah.
like, so some of them they're all good. Some are a little better than others sometimes,
Yeah.
but he just got like his it's all legal. It's weird. Like my best friend has like this like legal grow room and makes these legal gummies, and it's like that's so crazy that we're in this weird legal weed world now. I mean, it's
time, dude.
It is time. Yeah. Crowdfunder is also, thanks for tuning in, Brewbaker's Muse. Crowdfunder is pretty new. I backed Leslie Julian's last book on there that he did. Yeah, I mean, just because I like him a lot and he's a good storyteller. But again, when he did that, I was like, what? I was like, man, this is within the span of like a month. It felt like there's like now 2 alternate crowdfunding places, and so yeah, I like it. Like you said, I think Kickstarter does need some competition, but this is the risk right now, signing up for a new platform. Some of these didn't use fucking PayPal when they launched, and so like I don't think I've had good luck with PayPal, right? But I'm more apt to sign up for places when I can just put my PayPal in there and I don't have to like get my wallet out and look at my credit cards and shit. Like, I don't know, like I've never had my identity stolen or anything, but I just feel like I don't want to like just give everybody my information all the time. And then I already get flooded with Kickstarter emails like crazy. And so it's just like all these other emails and shit. It's a lot. And I don't want to discourage. My whole fucking platform is about crowdfunding. So I don't want to like discourage people from experiencing the different elements of it. And like, follow people you like. And if they have campaigns wherever, I've had transactions go through, they're safe, so like I said, just support the people you like. And it's going to be an interesting few years. And now like Global Comics announcing that like print on demand shit. I had a buddy do a comic and had Amazon print on demand it when you order it. It's just like, there's a lot of moving parts right now as like comic book press. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm very interested to see like where things go and what happens. Exactly.
Yeah, it is a very interesting time. The print on demand, my only thing is I would have to see the book. I have to feel it in my hands, because there's not to say anything specific, but there is a very tactile difference that I felt between small print run trade paperbacks in America versus a large professionally printed full run. It's all the difference in the world, as far as the feel, the weight, the spine, the lack of pulpiness on the cover. I'm really interested to see if Global Comics is going to be able to deliver a book that is shelf quality, on demand.
Yeah, well, it's also
I take a lot of pride when I design a book too. I mean, I look at when I do research of the cover density, the paper density, coated, uncoated, matte, gloss, even little things like spot UV printing and foil, right? Just to put the little touches in a physical product. So if it's on demand and they can meet those specs, that could be cool. But if it's just a plain Jane run of the mill, this is stock paper, this is how it's going to be.
Well, I thought you did a real great job with Fogline. Like just it's not your typical comic, size and proportions. And then the way you packaged it as well, I thought was like really clever in the police report or the evidence bag, right? Yeah. So like I think we were talking last week about how people are buying like tape and stickers and putting those like using packing tape with logos on it and shit for like the mailers and stuff, and how you get these decorated Kickstarter boxes. Charlie Stickney yet again has like special white ash boxes that you get when you do his Kickstarter stuff. So I don't know. I think going that extra mile, which I can't imagine the extra headache of that, of like doing all your shipping and stuff and just putting everything in these cool little bags and all the and then you're just adding more hell on yourself. But I appreciate that as a consumer. Like, thanks for making your comic like doing a little something extra. Real quick before we go on, you guys just give a shout out to where everybody can find you on Twitter real quick, just to kind of let everybody know.
Yes.
Let's start with Pat.
Yes, I'm at Pat Shans on Twitter, just my name. pretty much everywhere. My company is Space Between Entertainment. We are Space Between Ent everywhere as well. Find me on TikTok, dude. That's the move. TikTok.
Yeah. I gotta look you up, Pat. I just got on TikTok. I'm fucking like, I'm all about these little fucking like video audio reviews now.
It's great. It's great. People aren't bitching all day. It's great.
Yeah, it's like a new experience for me, and it feels like, I don't know if it's like giving me something. Well, like I don't have enough shit to do, but like just make it like it's cool making these little videos, and the couple I've posted, like, and if you keep them under 90 seconds or less, you post there. It could be an Instagram reel. Twitter can do under 2 minutes, and then. So yeah, you can just fucking put that shit everywhere. Like give me all the clicks in the world. Mario, where do we find you at, bud?
Yeah, Twitter. I am the other Mario C, and Instagram another Mario C. I kind of like Instagram a little bit better because you don't have to deal with the bullshit. But it's just photos and things I'm regurgitating from Twitter as well. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to use Instagram more. You know what sucks is when everything you post, you have to post like 3-4 fucking times, right? And I'm just like, hey, the new podcast episode is out. Let's do fucking 5 social media posts about it. And then I'm supposed to, like, everybody's like, dude, you're supposed to like remind people every couple days to listen to your podcast. I'm like, no, that's too like I forget. Well, I don't think about it.
I mean, you gotta remember Ryan from The Office made that app called Woof. You post it once.
I remember, yeah. The fax, the phone, the watch goes off. Like, Steven, where do we find you at, bud?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheStevenPrince or also at Monster Matador. I'm also Monster Matador on Facebook, Instagram, and I need to get into that TikTok thing too. But
more and more, man. I'm seeing,
I hear that.
Yeah, I'm seeing more crowdfunded people like posting little TikTok videos and like reminding you to go there. I don't think that like the shit we have to do online on Twitter right now to like defeat the fucking algorithm. I have an alt Twitter account that I now have to use to like comment with myself, because they say, like, it started out, they were like, okay, don't put the link in the tweet, right? And then now it's like, well, it's better if someone else posts the tweet and not the original author. And then so right now, like to get like, if you want to make sure that people are seeing your posts, you got to like your own tweets, have an alt account to post the link that likes those tweets as well, that retweets the tweet, and then you can respond to the alt and say, oh, thanks. So I'm like having these fucking conversations with myself on Twitter all day, and I don't even have a Kickstarter going. I'm just trying to get people to like look at my friends' shit, right? Like, and it's fucking nuts. And yeah, TikTok doesn't seem to, the hashtags work again, and it's a pleasant experience. I pay for Canva, right? So like Canva is how I do all my amazing promo art. Like graphic design is my passion, shit. But like, it has an easy TikTok video editor, So like, I just like write my new deal is less than 300 words, is about 90 seconds when you read it out loud. Include the solicit, and then it's a little bit shorter than like the review I posted for Mario, like for Killcella. Like it's a little less in depth, but I don't know what's better. Like, because the other one you get like images and it talks to you and it's like this new experience. But my Substack does decently too. So I don't know what the fuck. I figure you just got to be everywhere, right? If you want to like stay relevant, you just got to just be anywhere you don't want to be and be annoying and persistent on all platforms, apparently.
I'm going to quote CM Punk and say, I'm too old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children. I can't do this.
It's not really enjoyable, a lot of what we do on social media. But I think that the more that we can make our pushes for people to either, listen to a podcast, to back a Kickstarter, to follow someone, the more that we can make the actual post about that into enjoyable content, I think the better we are, which is why TikTok is, to me, hopefully the move, because the video format is a lot more digestible than just reading someone just posting another link or giving another pitch, and plus, what Twitter doesn't do that TikTok does is TikTok is going to give your video to people who actually want to see that kind of shit. Their algorithm I don't know how they do it, but it is real tailored. They know me insanely well. They give me exactly what I want to be seeing. I'll be scrolling that shit for hours, dude.
Oh, dude, it's that's so I'm trying to like more comic content on there to kind of talk to like cross and food. I love the quick food
Blake,
stuff.
that's not what you're looking at. That's like
well, that's what I'm getting to.
seeing.
Like, I'm trying to like get it, and
I
all
can
I
imagine
get
what
is
you're
like,
seeing over there, dude.
yeah, I'm like, oh my god, these just gorgeous women dancing, or like the loose or the wear it big videos, and I'm like, oh, stop it! Oh,
yeah, I mean, that's my
fuck,
whole
man,
right?
That's funny.
But I don't know if you guys know, like, so Pat's like a fucking rock star over there because he does not only with his comic book stuff, but he's big on like the Pokemon cards and stuff and doing like card openings, and there's like a pretty big market for that. And I am just, so it's kind of your fault, Pat, because you've got me addicted to the Destiny New York cards. Because I don't, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know this, but I'm in Pat's DMs all the time, like reminding him to like save me a card. I'm gonna order this from your shop. I'm buying the Destiny books like every other week, and so like I'm slowly accumulating the Destiny set. And but he's got like anytime he announces a card, I'm like I'm there. Like I gotta buy these things, and they're awesome. And I'm really stoked for this game he's got coming out. And now that a couple other creators have tricked me into giving Magic the Gathering another shot. And I just bought my first commander deck. I'm gonna try and go. We got a local shop here called Spanky's. That's pretty dope. Also, shout out to Spanky's because when I went into that shop, I realized what it feels like when like people are new to comics and go into a comic book shop, right? And how overwhelming that is. It's like I go in there with some money in my pocket, like I'm like, yeah, I want to get some Magic cards, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's shit everywhere in these like big beautiful boxes and these crazy sets and then like the individual cards under the counter, like they got everything. And I was just like, fuck me, man, this is nuts. And the guy like was really paid. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm dumb. I was like, my buddies are kind of trying to get me back into it, and he like listened to me and talked to me and like I was even going to get something like more expensive, and he was like, you don't really need that, man. Like you can get just try this out. And he was like, you can come up here a few nights a week once you get comfortable and play and learn and kind of expand upon that. I was like, man, because I don't, nerd shops are real hit and miss with customer service, which is shocking. Like you would think like they would, with all the troubles that these shops have had, they would be like in constant ass kissing mode, like ready for customer service. But a lot of times you go in there and I'm sure like they have bad days too and stuff. But they're not always as helpful and kind of judgy based on your purchases. So I was like, I thought that was very cool that this guy was like talking me through some stuff, and like he could have gotten $20 or $30 extra out of me, and he talked me out of it. He was like, "This is all you need." I was like, "All right, dude."
That's very cool.
That's so I'm stoked for that. But I guess so. Continuing off that, since we kind of brought up Pat and his current Kickstarter, so Destiny Volume 6 is live right now. And you can get like digital. You can get the digital backlog. You can get the physical backlog. He's got there's like 10 volumes almost now or more of Destiny.
Let's see. There's 6 main volumes. So there's those. There's a short story collection, hardcover art book. Then we have a Gangster Esperista spinoff, Cherry Gilbert Necromancer. Smoke We See the Future, so 11 so far, and I got one. My next Kickstarter is launching, October 21st.
No shit, Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah, I'm going back to back. Nice. And that one's going to be a spinoff as well. It's called Mixed Magical Martial Arts.
Yes, with Kevin and Bob already.
Yeah, dude, with Kevin.
Oh fuck! I'm so dude, I've been waiting for that since you guys announced it. Oh,
yeah,
sick
guys. Yeah, we got the Metal Shark Bros coming on. They, they're great writers, great comedic writers. They are co-writing with me on this book. It's a spinoff, but that is later in October. This is Destiny New York Volume 6. For those who don't know, it is a story about a girl who had a prophecy made about her when she was young. She completes her destiny when she's just 13. So now she's entering her 30s, trying to figure out life post-Destiny. And it's a romance between her and this character, who is the last surviving daughter of a mystical mafia. And 6 volumes. Each volume is between 130 to 200 pages. It is a very thick, involved read. I've seen it characterized by reviewers as shit like Harry Potter meets Sopranos, which is A-okay to me.
Yeah, those are big names.
By Eliza Ramboli and Jen St. Ange.
Yeah, I love both of these covers. She's so good.
Oh yeah,
both of them are so good. You get very lucky on the artists you bring on your campaigns. And right now we're in stretch goal territory. So like, you're guaranteed to get the book because it funded, right? So you can like hop. Now's a great time to hop on.
Yes.
But we're also going to hopefully get some additional. We're working on additional. I always add myself to your campaigns. Like I'm part.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. But they're working on additional like bonus stories at the end of the book. So like and I love like a lot of stretch goal. Like that's a dope stretch goal, man. Because a lot of stretch goals is like back matter, and I understand not everybody can afford to do that and kind of go about that cool life. That bonus story life, right? But I just think I'm excited. And you've done that before. That's been like kind of your Kickstarter jam, right? Is like instead of like we could do prints or bookmarks or playing cards or pogs. Even though I do love I'm all about the pog resurgence, which is cool. But but you're getting more story. Like the more people that back and stuff, like you're actually getting additional short stories added on to the page count, which is pretty sick.
That's right. Yeah, I every volume of the series ends with a chapter of shorts, and they're kind of, in some ways, they stand alone. They focus on character. They are slice of life sometimes, but they also kind of build stuff toward the next volume too. So while they are additive, they have become a bit more essential as we've gone along too. So I definitely want to make sure get added to the book.
And these are the cards, ladies and gentlemen. These are a few of the cards that Pat is doing, and they're gorgeous. They're hollow. They're like the production value is fucking off the charts. Like I think they look so cool. I'm just really excited. I have no idea how this game's gonna play. Like there's these numbers on the cards. They're very pretty and they say something. But I have no idea like how. And it's like a story driven game too, right?
Yeah. I'll give you a bit of a hint. When the actual decks come out, we're doing starter decks next year. Those are going to have more in-game rules on the cards, and the convention cards and the Kickstarter cards will be able to be swapped out for any of the cards for any of the character cards. And in the game, a step in the game is to pair a character and a place. So the cool thing about the promo cards is that those are going to essentially already have a place attached. So for example, if you get the Baltimore Comic-Con card, that's going to be a Trinity card, and she's already going to be attached to a convention as a place. So that's going to have that in-game bonus there.
That's sick. So I recently just read Volume 1, and I have Volume 2, and then I've ordered the next one is the barista one.
Yes.
And so that's en route. I believe I got a shipment notification today, I think. Yeah. And so like, dude, Volume 1, I did not know how much I was going to be like. I figured it'd be good because you can't survive that long when you're dropping like full blown original graphic novels. The art, the tier of artwork and stuff you get like on this, like everything's just so polished and great, and you have this huge audience, and I was like, it's got to be good, right? But on the surface level, I didn't know if it was going to be for me. Like it's not like I just don't read a lot of slice of life stuff, which now I kind of want to. Like you've made me want to like dive more into that, but it's not just slice of life. Like there's like action and spell casting, and it's a lot more than like I was expecting, and just absolutely jaw dropping beautiful. And the characters are great. The writing is great. I'm like, after that Volume 1, man, like I'm obsessed, and it is just like,
thank you very much.
I just need more. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to just, and here's some of the spinoffs. There's short story collections. And then this Vita worked with you, right?
Vita and I co-wrote that one. That's Cherry Gilbert Necromancer. What happened there was it was one of those short stories that we unlocked with stretch goals that was on Volume 2. Vita wrote a Cherry story in Volume 2, and it was so good that I just hit them up and I was like, "You want to just do a full book?" You know?
And they dug it. That's what's cool. Like, I mean, Vito was on New Mutants. Like they were killing it at Marvel. Like this, and so like, and to have like a Marvel writer on your Kickstarter, you know, like that's huge. And I can't imagine like how much that like helps your campaign too. But and then also like other stuff like Prison Witch, I was really impressed with. And I'm stoked to get that too. And
nice.
I don't know, like y'all got to check out Pat's comics, man. They're fun. And then I just found out that he's been with like Zenoscope for a long time too. And so I just like I have this like fucking thousands of pages of Pat Shand just like eagerly awaiting me to read. And I need more time. I need more Pat time in my life. But there's just I'm doing all these like Kickstarter launch parties now, and then the podcast and everything. So it's very hard to binge. It's harder now to like binge stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm stoked for all this, dude. It's so good. It's so good. And I love the trades. The trades are pretty, like it ships well, whether you back through his Kickstarter or if you go to the Etsy shop and stuff, like it's a great experience. They ship quickly, they ship securely. You know, and you can get some of these cards that just are gorgeous and we're all gonna get to play with next year. Like I'm excited, man. It's cool. It's cool beans.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely put a lot of work into this, a lot of heart into this. And it's a series that I plan on running for many years to come. I have my idea of what volume we're going to close out on, but for now, I'm just doing the damn thing. And I am really happy that people have liked it enough that we can keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you've even launched like a fancy hardcover, just an art book that was like not story, and that did.
Yeah, when the art book came in and I felt it in my hands, the hardcover, I was like, we gotta do more of this shit. The hardcovers are absolutely beautiful. That's one thing that I'm gonna look toward doing is kind of diversifying my shit because on Kickstarter. This was because I have two accounts. I have this main one, and I used to do a Space Between account for my collaborations. This is, I believe, Kickstarter number 24.
It's fucking nuts.
And they've all been trade paperbacks. You know, they've all been full graphic novels. I really want to try to do some one-shot single issues and some hardcovers. You know, some beautiful, thick, fat. I'm starting to think of TikTok again. You know,
I thought you were thinking of me.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for goosing up your house, baby.
I'm thinking about the TikTok algorithm, you know? Yeah, dude. Yeah, just some beautiful hardcovers and just kind of, you know, how you said about Mario, how you kind of play with format and size. I want to start doing that kind of stuff too. You know, it's on Kickstarter, you could do anything, you know, you fund anything. So I'm looking into really trying different things now that I've been doing this for so long. Like even plushies, the trading card game. I want to do it all or nothing at all. Remember that shit?
I keep seeing Kickstarter omnibuses pop up, which I didn't really think would ever be a thing. Because I mean, like some people, the cost of hardcovers is so intense, right? So you got to like, you got to really kind of have, you know, bring out like the red carpet and like, because it's going to cost you money. So you got to like be ready to make this a nice hardcover. And omnibus is already more expensive and like. But I mean, like I'm thinking about like Vault right now, and for none of us know. I don't think we know how much shipping is going to be yet because they're not charging that till later, I believe. But it's like 60. I don't think so. I think it's like $69 for the basic, and they've met like every stretch goal now. So like it's going to have like a ribbon, some nicer binding and stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, so I've been seeing like a handful of Kickstarter omnibuses, and I'm like, that's kind of rad. And I'm not gonna lie, I like if you dropped like a Destiny tome of like the first 5 volumes or something, dude, I would shit. And then you can do like the slipcase edition, and or like Kevin Joseph with his with Tart, he puts out these like oversized, gorgeous hardcovers, and his goal is to have like 7 total hardcovers with us, and the last one you buy has a slipcase and holds them all, like, which is like, that just sounds super sick. So yeah, I mean, like Kickstarter starting, it's already like when you buy the singles and one shots, you get like the cardstock covers, you get the heavier paperweight because people nerd out on that shit. But yeah, but I mean, like Kickstarter hardcovers are really fucking nice the ones that I've got, and they're worth paying a little extra money for. I feel like so.
I think so too, and I mean I do think of long term because I very much believe in endings. I'm gonna run Destiny New York for years, but when it's over, I'm not gonna do that kind of bitch ass shit where I ended and then I go back like 4 years later. I'm gonna have a definitive end, and then after it's over, I could do cool stuff like make the omnibuses, do an oversized hardcover. Maybe even do the Walking Dead thing and color it. Just kind of live for years off of the body of work that I've done.
That's the dream, right? Is get use the word, don't work anymore and just get paid. I'd be cool with that. Well, no, I think, like I said, you've got a great audience, and if you ever get caught between a rock and a hard place again, you just drop another sexy OG in and fucking blow Kickstarter away like you did last time. That's always
already coming, dude. 2023.
You got me. I've never bought adult comics before, and I'm very excited to. I feel like you don't read those. I feel like you experience them, right? So I'm very excited to experience that, and since then I've bought a couple nude variants from artists I like too, and I'm like, man, what the fuck have I gotten myself in? It's like I'm just spiraling. The next step is like I'm gonna buy some sex robot who's gonna murder me in my sleep probably. And anyways, we went to a dark place. If we rewind it a little bit and go back to where we were talking about sexy hardcovers, someone else in this chat's got a very sexy hardcover on Kickstarter right now. Mr. Stephen Prince, almost 15 years in the making, I believe, is how long you've been writing these books of Monster Matador.
Yeah, I came up with the Monster Matador 15 years ago, and I didn't really know what to do with this. This is before even like Kickstarter or anything like that, and I did it kind of like as a webcomic that I wrote and drew for a little bit, and then I started. I did 12 issues that I wrote and drew on my own. I never intended to do that. What happened was I had kids, and I kind of needed to keep myself busy. And a few years ago, just as the pandemic, just as we went into quarantine, we launched our first Kickstarter for Tangle the Matadors, Monster Matador, Tangle the Matadors, which is really Monster Matador as it should be. It's drawn by Fabio Alves, a fantastic Brazilian artist. He's been nominated for a Ringo Award for his work on a book called Banjax, and he also draws The Jump for Ryland Grant on Kickstarter, and it's colored by Alex Zeff, who is a wonderful colorist from Mexico City, who colors Source Point Press's Cult of Dracula and Rise of Dracula.
Yeah.
So we've got our collection. It collects it's 180 plus pages. It collects Tangle the Matadors, the follow-up sequel Afropocalypse. It has an exclusive 10-page story to the collection and a study guide. This is about a matador who fights kaiju monsters to make a better world for his daughter. It's exactly what you think it is. It's a guy with a sword and a cape who has to figure out how to kill Godzilla. And it's bonkers, it's off the wall, it's action packed, and it's awesome. So
yeah, it's fucking nuts. I love it. It's so crazy. Every woman wants him, every man wants to be him.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll sell the book at conventions and people will come back the next day or at signings, and they'll come back and they'll just be like, "Oh, this is really about a matador fighting monsters," you know. Right. Good night, sweetie. Good night. It's my special guest.
It's funny, every time I've talked to Steven, he's always blaming his kids on shit. He's like,
"Yeah,
I'd go to that con, but I got these kids. I do more interviews and stuff, but I got these kids."
The crazy thing is, I locked that door, so I don't even know how she got in here. Like a cat, she just like snuck under.
Kitty Pryde style.
Speaking of Charlie, we were talking about Charlie earlier. Yeah, I've never bought, and he reminds me that even when I say I haven't bought an adult content before, there's some sexiness in White Ash, but I've never bought like a full on. Oh, yeah, Galarian too.
Check out Galarian.
Yeah, well, that guy's dick blows up.
Who knew, Charlie? Charlie's so quiet and unassuming, and then you get Galarian, and you're like, "Oh, okay." Wonderful book too.
Oh, the best,
So,
the best.
Yeah, it's I love that whole world. But I mean, as we've seen, like you can do some really cool shit on Kickstarter, and I love that Monster Matador is being collected for the first time. And for people that don't want to, if you want to be like a cheap little whiny baby and not back this gorgeous hardcover, you can get a trade. You still get the bonus story, and so you're gonna get. You get this wonderful collection of oversized comics. The single issues he put out are oversized, and then the big one shot, the Aftershock, which was like
65 pages.
Yeah, that was a girthy boy, and it's so good too. Like, but I love this. I love this. I love this book so much. I said something crazy about it, and it wasn't like I got the Kickstarter in my hand, and I like read it, but I didn't look at the back cover, and he quoted me.
Monster Matador is like bullfighting on an 8-ball of crazy good cocaine.
Not that I would know what that joy is like, because I've never bullfought before. But no, just kidding. But yeah, it's so great, and yeah, like Steven said, the art is top tier. Kaijus are fucking hot right now. Like, how is this campaign should be doing a lot better? I'm actually aggravated at my audience that we don't have.
I'm aggravated.
Yeah,
not at your audience, but I'm just aggravated.
No, you call them out, Steven. I'll give you a list. I'll give you a list of them. We'll call some motherfuckers out by name.
Lake Powers, man. No, it's a fun book. Definitely, you should check it out. We've actually got the next 2 issues done, which is our next story, which the bonus story in this one sets up is Once Upon Some Monsters in Mexico. We've got luchador monster fighters coming up. So the book is wild as crazy as it sounds. But what I was saying, it's funny because I go to conventions, I go to store signings, and people will always come back and they'll be like, oh, like the book is actually about a monster fighting matador. And I'm like, yes, it's literally on the cover, man.
Do you think I fucking lied to you just to like buy it? Like,
yeah.
I would love that. Like someone like comes like, why would they like come back there like, this isn't what you said it was? You're like,
right.
You bought it already. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Too late. No refunds.
I'm like, I don't know what you expect. It literally says Monster Matador. I don't. So,
oh my god, that's hilarious.
And in Aftershock, we actually did something fun because it's a love letter to Predator. And if you know Predator, Shane Black, who's a screenwriter, Lethal Weapon, The Last Boy Scout, Iron Man 3, maybe not mention that. They put him in the movie because they wanted him to rewrite the script on the go, and he refused to do that. So they just killed him off real early. But Ryland Grant, who's a writer, Suicide Jockeys, Banjax, he works with Fabio a lot. We have him in Aftershock as one of the international kaiju killers that joins the Matador on the hunt. Also, David Schrader and Christian Horn, who are the co-creators of Baby Badass, who play Hans and Schrader, which are kind of like a German duo in the vein of Hans and Franz, if you remember that old Saturday Night Live sketch, but as killer mercenaries. So the book is a lot of fun. Oh, the Bearded Comic Bro's back. How's it going, man? Ryland Grant is a hack. I didn't say it. You did. But no, Ryland is not a hack. But
no, he's awesome.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, everyone here does have great books, including Kilchella. So someone wrote a really great review for Kilchella recently. I feel like it was me because I'm a great review writer.
There seems to be a pattern here, Blake.
The book has to be good. Like you can't just like write a great piece about shit literature, like so you have to have something there that makes you want to talk about it. Bearded, always glad to have you. What's he talking about? Yeah, man, you guys, everybody. I say when I had recorded with Ryland Grant, I didn't hear his episode for like 6 months. or it was a long time. It was after I recorded with Rylan Grant, like all these Kickstarter people started hitting me up, and that's when I started helping out Kickstarter campaigns a lot. And everything's so new, right? And I was scared to tell people no. I was like, well, if I tell people no, they'll quit asking, and then like Blake's Buzz will die. And so I kept saying yes. Like, dude, some weeks I put out like 3 podcasts in a week, and it was crazy. And so like Rylan's kept getting pushed back because like I would release these Kickstarter campaigns, and I was like, I told Bearded and some other people, I was like, I think Rylan hates me. I was like, oh my god, like I still haven't like put out this fucking podcast. And then I finally, when I did finally put the podcast out, I like ordered a bunch of stuff from his shop. Like I ordered all these signed books and shit. I was like, whoo, all right. And then he's been back on the show since, and he was cool with it. But yeah, I felt so bad, man. I was just like, it was a long time I was sitting on this episode, and I could just and maybe he didn't think about it at all. Like maybe I'm like full of myself, and he was like, I don't know.
He texted me every day. I just texted him. I just texted him your comment, Greg. Also, Blake, you promised me I would not wait 6 months for mine, and we're on 2 months now. I'm just saying.
Well, you wanted me to put it out during the campaign.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm messing with you.
He told me to do it.
I know. I'm messing with you.
Can't do that. You guys know I ate a gummy, man. I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, he's like your Lindsey Buckingham. You just keep bumping him and bumping him.
Right.
But yeah, we do have that interview we're about to drop, which I'm excited for, because I really do love it and believe in this comic, and this is. I don't want to use you. Oh, I'm going to use you as an example right now. Sorry, but like this is an example of like the other side of Kickstarter, where there are some tougher times on Kickstarter right now. I think also because we're just oversaturated. Well, fucking last Wednesday, like the fucking gates of hell split open, and everybody launched a goddamn campaign the same day. It was just like, Jesus, let me breathe. And my wallet was crying, and like I had this, I went and sold plasma, and I didn't do that actually, but I thought about it.
It's funny. I launched earlier because I thought I would beat the like rush, but I feel like everyone did that and launched early. Thank you, Paperback Dan. And Greg Rylan just texted me back. He said, "Fucking Ohio State fans." So
oh, nice. We got you a backer. That's dope.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
He definitely did not back the hardcover though, because he hates hardcovers. Right. So it's not just a clever name. Like Paperback Dan sticks by his brand. Hey, that's and totally last minute too, because I forget that like a lot of people follow me now, and so I'm used to, forever I could say dumb, irreverent, idiotic shit online and no one paid attention to it, right? And now they do. And so like I got irritated the other night, and I was like, I'm canceling. Like I had some show cancellations. I was like, I'm canceling the show. No one likes me. And then everybody, like I got over flooded with like a whole bunch of people like, dude, we'd love to come on your show. And then a couple Comicsgate people too. And I was like, damn it, how do you always sneak in here? And anyways, I was like, so we put this. I'm really glad we put this together because all these guys have great books that we need to that need you to go experience them. But
dude.
Yeah, no, I've always had fun talking to you, Pat, and yeah. But it's I don't understand how some people are just having all this crazy success on and day one fundings and stuff like out of nowhere. And some of these are new properties too that are like that aren't coming out with stuff that like, well, we've done 4 previous campaigns or more or something. And so, why you guys need to go give Steven some money. Like, let's just do that real quick. Just go give the man. You saw this kid. He's got kids he's got to feed. Everything's wrapped up there. Well, guilt him.
You saw how emaciated she looked, right? You saw that.
Skin and bones. That child was. Good.
Not getting enough nutrition.
Just because she's calcium deficient now. Like, fuck, guys. Everybody go buy 2 hardcovers right now. That's right. 2 of them.
Think about the children, please.
Yeah. Buy the retailer tier.
Don't make me go all Sally Struthers on this live show.
For just $45 in shipping, you can get a hardcover and adopt a child.
I'll tell you what. I'll throw in these cool paperback, Dan. You'll get one because you believe in the children. I'll throw in these cool sketch. This is a card of a pinup that I drew for the first issue. It's one of those really thick velvet feel cards, and I'll do a little sketch on the back. I'll throw it in there.
That's
with
cool.
the book, so, yeah.
That's sick.
I want one of those. Why does Dan get one? Where's Blake's? What the fuck? Why does my audience get the cool shit? No, we're done. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It was fun. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll hook you up, Blake. Don't worry.
But yeah, so I really believe in this campaign, and yeah, just the collection I think is great. It's going to be a nice hardcover. There's a great collection. Afteropocalypse was awesome. I'm stoked for the new story. Again, like I mentioned to Pat earlier, it's very cool when you guys give us an incentive to buy these bigger products. Okay, yes, a Kickstarter trade is expensive. Kickstarter hardcover is also expensive, but I'm going to get this bonus story that I can't get anywhere else. I like that. Trick me into it. It's fine.
Remember, if you've ever been curious about what an 8-ball of cocaine is like, but have been too scared to try actual cocaine,
yeah,
read the book.
You just read this book. Just grab life by the horns and dive in. But yeah, it's I know it's been stressful for you too. So I wish I was influential enough where I could be like, get out there, ladies and gentlemen, back, let's get this thing funded, and then I don't know,
maybe take your shirt off on TikTok.
Yeah, you guys want feet pics? What do you need over here? We'll make it happen.
That's a good idea.
That's actually not bad. Yeah,
I used to work with this beautiful waitress when I was a bouncer, and she would always have different shoes on, and sometimes she would have really gross shoes on, and she was fucking people would pay her hundreds of dollars. She'd go buy cheap Walmart shoes, wear them for a fucking shift, wrap them up, and send them out to clients. They would pay tons of money.
I mean,
dude, I'm in the wrong business.
I have wondered, and not to kink shame. Actually, I don't give a fuck about kink shaming. Sure, I'll kink shame. I don't get the feet shit. I don't get.
I don't either. Man.
As far as body parts, there's tits. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's an ass, and you're looking at what people walk on, dude. What is that?
Yeah,
that's the foundation of the body, man. Come on.
I mean,
so I guess there's no there's none of the shorts in Cheeky or dealing with feet. Is that spoiler alert?
I'll do a sequel called fucking Tootsies.
Oh my god, that'll make $200,000,
right?
Oh, you'll fucking break $250,000, man.
Yeah, I mean, we really could just look at the Pornhub top categories and just be we'll do one called Step.
Yeah. Oh no,
does that lead into
bro.
the foot stuff too?
I mean, it could.
How many stories can you write about people that get stuck in washing machines, though?
It's actually good.
There's only so many tales you can tell.
I mean, we could do an anthology about that kind of shit.
Yeah, I got you. Rob Liefeld variant.
Oh shit,
dude! Oh, I mean
oh my god,
those fucking hooves that he draws.
Oh shit. Oh well. On that note, on the solid Rob Liefeld joke, Mario also has a. Well, they're saying, is it because of the hurricane? Or are they saying the 19th is the estimated release date now of Killcella? Is that what they're thinking?
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna say yes. That is what some people are saying. Yes.
What a fucking first issue, though, dude. My goodness, this guy is a hard-working indie creator. He did so much. I don't see a lot of people promoting their books as well as he did. And this is a direct market release, right? He's not even promoting a Kickstarter. He's about to be next week, which we'll talk about that too. But you just did you're well liked in the community, which helps. You sent you sent a lot of the your comic pro friends and stuff the book. Like everybody, a lot of people were reading it and talking about it, and Twitter was a buzz with Killcella. The title's sick, the cover's sick. You got that gorgeous fucking Tula variant, like it just, you did really well getting people hyped for this book, and then it paid off too. Like that first issue was fucking great, man. And it's as I said in my review, like at first it feels like a bunch of fucking high school pricks that like I would hate to hang out with, right? And I was just like, this is like the beautiful people that bought drugs from me in high school, and like whatever. And so, but you get to know them, and they are very real people, and they get flushed out, and I realize what you're doing is you're like, by the end of the issue, you're like, oh, they're not so bad, and they're probably all gonna fucking die, and that's all I go, no, like, but it's this like culty slasher weirdness that takes place at a fucking music festival, which like is very cool, like Club Dread of you to do, but it's very different than Club Dread. It's not goofy. It's fucking like there's some real shit going on here, and it's very like gory and visceral and bloody, and like, dude, where the fuck did this idea come from? Like, it's just a really, like, a fresh slasher is not something easy to do. It's like coming out with a new spin on a zombie idea and doing well with that.
Thank you for saying that. It's kind of weird to hear someone say that, but thank you. I honestly did not come from horror at all. I didn't start watching horror movies in force until maybe 2018, 2019, wow, when the AMC A-list thing came out, and I was like, well, I'm paying a flat fee, so I want to just go see as many movies as I can. But I originally came from the world of comedy as a former stand-up comedian, and I'm a current comedy writer. I do bits for people. So horror was something new for me, but I love prestige drama, and of course the best deaths happen once you start to care for a character. So I think that's where I got the idea of trying to make these people real. But it's funny you said high school. The origin for the story came from an article I read about this woman who spent 5 figures to get her body and wardrobe Coachella ready. It's personal trainers, cosmetic nips and tucks, wardrobe, because she didn't want to look good in just her photos. She wanted to look good in the background of randos photos. So I showed my wife this article because her laughing, hey, this is ridiculous, right? And she asked me if I was kidding, and I was like, no. She's like, I went to school with this girl, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So my wife went to high school with this girl. I think her name was also Erin. And she was someone that they did a lot of classes together, and there's personal history. But I was like, you know what, this is destiny. I have to make fun of this from a comedian standpoint, right? You kind of want to lampoon this, and after a few stabs at it, this is where we ended up with this slasher horror at a concert I cannot legally mention.
It's everybody should pick this up. This is a really solid entry from Scout. It's, how come you didn't get the Scout horror imprint on this one? Was it not horror? Yeah, like it feels like a Caravan release. Like
it wasn't offered to me, honestly. I mean, I just went to the normals. I didn't have an in Scout really. I mean, I knew Charlie for a little bit, but I just went to the normal submission channels, and we went from there to approvals and contracts. And yeah, I mean, I know the Black Caravan guys are doing insane stuff. I love their action figures that they were putting out through the reaction account. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm the person to ask that question, but now I
just thought that's where all their horror titles went. Honestly,
I Charlie. He says there they have their own submission process. Blake's buzz kicked in the hornet's nest. Come on.
Okay. I'm just talking. Well, I mean, that's why people watch me. I talk mad shit, but I'm not talking shit. It was just, like I said, I thought all the horror titles went like right over there. But yeah, it's, there's so many, the art, the colors. You have a really great colorist, Serge. No, wait, is that your main artist?
Yeah, Serge and Kath did the first issue, and then
Yeah.
Lazzaro and Leslie Atlansky did the remaining series once we really kicked off.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the talent that we were able to get for this series. Lazzaro, especially once he gets cutting on people. I mean, it really is something special for issues 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, it's way too good. There's this scene that I won't spoil. The clinch. Yeah, the scout. Yeah, Charlie really likes your comic book. I like this.
Oh, thank you.
Like this.
That's a good co-sign. That's a good co-sign.
Yeah. But there's a scene in a fast food joint once you realize that there's fuckery about, right? And you're like, okay, and then there's like you're like, why are we here? Kind of. It's like, okay, something's gonna happen, and there's this kid like opens the door to the public bathroom, and like, holy man, this is it's just there's so many, like there's so much shadow and dark ink, but you still see everything. That this art team like really wants to like make you see every cut and slice and bruise and broken bone and whatever happens to these people. Like it's fucking intense, and it really helps with the tension. This issue is just like you open it, and then all of a sudden, like you've burned through all the pages, and you're like, where do I go from here? It's a really quick read, and there's every element is great. Like art, colors, the letters look good, the sound effects look good, the murdering looks great. So yeah, I really dig that in comics when you can pull off that jump scare essentially in a comic. It's very impossible to do. It's totally different than when you're watching a movie. It doesn't maybe necessarily make you jump, but it makes you it makes that tingle go up your spine, right? And it like opens your mind to like new narrative elements. And it kind of works on your body differently than like, hopping out of your seat in the theater or something. But it's again interesting how you're like, I just kind of stumbled into horror. I don't know why I'm here. And you like do successfully pull off all these like impossible maneuvers in your premiere issue. So, cool.
I owe a lot
good for you.
Thank you. I owe a lot to James Ferguson, who was the story editor for that. He used to write for Horror DNA and ComicCon.com, and he's from the same part of New York that I went to high school in. So, we connected. I think he did a review of an old story I did called Corktown, and we met from there. But it's funny you mentioned the bathroom scene. This comic is steeped in Southern California. So that bathroom is actually based on an In-N-Out. If you've seen one In-N-Out, you've seen all the In-N-Outs because they're all pretty much the same. I have a poster of In-N-Out right here on my wall. I love it. So yeah, that's just something I was like, what's something that's good for the California locals we could put in there. We wanted to keep this in the Palm Desert area. The opening scene is Mount San Juanito, which is the highest elevation point in Southern California, which has a tram that goes up like that. It's a 25-minute tram. My wife and I took it. It's 30 degrees colder up there than in the desert. So, we wanted to really capture everything that we felt, because I go to California often, just for leisure as well as business. And as a New York kid, this was a completely different world. It's just something that I felt, it's like I have to kind of try to capture this in my work as much as possible, because I felt enamored by what we were seeing.
Yeah, it's a whole new idea of animal style once you open that bathroom door. I'll tell you that much. Goodness gracious. I've never had In-N-Out. I've heard good things. I mean, obviously I'm a round person. I love greasy cheeseburgers, right? I'm going to be easy to please. I would love to try that. But that's cool. I dig that you're like, putting any, I like that you're grounding it in realness while you send us on this terrifying slasher route. And I just love it's interesting. I didn't realize how great slashers would work until like thinking of the Aftershock book that they just did, that I can't think of the goddamn name right now, but it's like Jason on a Train, and it's phenomenal. And so yeah, it's like just like James Bond comics and stuff. A lot of these high action, like lots of motion, lots of running. Sometimes you don't think like comic books are a great place for that, but they actually are. Like they can do really amazing things. Whether like in Pat's comic, there's a lot of like spells being cast. There's a lot of movement. There's some sexy time. There's like, it's things that you don't think, work in static images, but when you start linking them together, you can like take us for a ride. And I think Kilchella is very good at that. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of different places we see. Like you say, you take us to the top of a mountain, and then you bring us into like a fancy hotel with a bunch of friends, and then you take us into a In-N-Out and show us the bathroom that's covered in human remains. And so there's a journey, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of these moments take us, because you're really good at scene building. I'm noticing. And so and this is but this isn't your first horror either, right? Because you were in the Mad Cave anthology a while back, right?
Yeah, Kilchella was written a long time ago. That's been long in production, so that might be my first real horror. But yeah, the Mad Cave Grim Tales from the Cave, which came out last October. Shout out to Mark and those guys, and Brian, the editor. They wanted us to do something from the Brothers Grimm. So, I pitched a couple ideas. A bunch of them got shot down. The last one got a thumbs up for Rapunzel. We just wanted to try to look at the lore of Rapunzel and what could we do that's a little different. Spoiler alert, she's the bad guy in this one.
Thank you, Dan. Maniac of New York is the Aftershock Slasher, which they did their second 4-issue. So like they brought it back for an additional 4 issues. But yeah, man, that's anything Andrea Muti draws is like those fucking, when he starts doing those watercolors and stuff, but like the blood and gore and stuff, everything really works really well. Great art is pretty essential for horror, I feel like. I mean, great art is good for all comics, but horror, you gotta step it up and do a little bit extra, I think. Same with Slice of Life. So like, and Steven has like great art, right? But he also has like the spectacle that he gets lucky too, because there's these monsters and high action and that kind of sexiness. And then whereas like as horror, and then also with like Slice of Life stuff, there's a lot of scenes where we're character building. You're trying to make us comfy right before you make us uncomfortable. And with Slice of Life, there aren't necessarily giant monsters and stuff around all the time, and there's, even when we get to like spell casting elements and stuff, but you really have to like bring a human element to. It's hard to show like fear in someone's eyes, right? Or lust even, because you can draw 2 characters naked next to each other, but they got to look like they want to fuck each other, right? Otherwise it's just like, it's not going to make sense. And so you guys do that in your narratives. Like the monsters look terrifying and the characters look scared. In Kilchella, the characters are excited and turned on and turned off and then enraged into this crazy cultist, like, I don't know, like there's like some mind control shit going on. I'm pretty sure. I'm so excited. I don't know what the fuck's going on in this book, like in a good way. Like I just have no idea what to expect. Just like, and also the same thing when I read Pat's Destiny. Like I said, I thought it was one thing, and then it turned into there's like the Harry Potter mafia that comes out of nowhere, right? And then there's like these fucking seers with no eyes, and they stick their fucking heads in water and like see the future. Like, I don't know, fuck you guys. Think of this shit. It's crazy. Like, I'm gonna. What if a bullfighter fought Godzilla? Yeah. Whoa. What if? Like, how the fuck do you come up with that? Or like, what if like all my friends got murdered at Lollapalooza? Like, whoa. Yeah, that would suck. But I would read about that. Like. So I just I don't know. It's really cool that you guys are all really great storytellers, and I'm really excited for people to get Kilchella in a couple weeks, and I really hope you give it a shot. It's got 2 beautiful covers you can get, but also like I want, and Mario deserves your money, basically is what I'm trying to say.
I'm excited for it. I pray it has every single lettering bubble that's supposed to be there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh at it, but all right, so I'm sure everybody knows this, but if you didn't know, Pat has a new comic coming out with Rio Burton as the Barbed, and everybody's really excited. Well, I was really excited about it, and I actually emailed Pat and I was like, hey man, can I review your comic? And he sent me the PDF, and then later that day we found out no one got to read the comic because half of the lettering wasn't in the books that dropped in stores.
In the printed, actually published day one release comic, have the lettering missing.
Christopher, thank you for popping in. Good to see you. What we must have missed a reference here. Oh. But yeah, it's I can't imagine. All of you guys have right now when you're dealing with Kickstarter's hard enough to promote. You got to put all that on your shoulders, especially if you got these needy kids like Steven does that just like ruin every chance you get to just try and make comic books. Like, a moment of silence. I'm just kidding, but but I mean, like, and then when Mario did this huge online campaign and like sent his comic out and was like telling everybody it comes out this specific day and time, and then like things happen, of course, and then like that just like throws a wrench in the gear of your promoting, or when people know your comic's coming out and then you get it, and then a couple people thought like Pat was trying to be like artsy and weird, and they were like, this is a silent issue? Like,
absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, in my talks with Scout, they were very confident that everyone would know that it was a mistake, but I saw 2 YouTube reviews, and one of them was like, yeah, it was such an interesting choice that he did that, and the other was like, I hated this. It made no fucking sense. The lettering stopped in the middle, and I'm like, bro, like, I mean, how do you not know it's a mistake? You know, the characters, I mean, there's entire pages of characters facing one another, like just gesticulating. And it's like, clearly they're saying shit, you know, it's like, I don't know, dude. So not everyone knew that it was a mistake.
You had your fine art moment.
Bullshit, you know? Yeah.
You had your fine art. People are just looking at it like, oh, wow, I see. This is childhood trauma coming back and regurgitating on the canvas.
It just quiets them, you know, for fucking half the issue. But yeah, dude, I'm very much looking forward to that being reprinted, and it's being reprinted and given to shops for free the same day as number 2.
Okay.
So yeah. Hopefully the shops are able to get it to. I mean, I'm sure not everyone who picked it up, but hopefully enough people who picked it up, you know.
Yeah. It sent me. I was kind of sniffing around because I was like, man, I kind of want one of the errors, right? It happened with Jenny Zero with Dark Horse when Dave was on my show a while back, or not when I was on another podcast, I interviewed him, and we were all really excited for Jenny Zero, except Jenny Zero had a random page from issue 2 inside of it at like a weird moment. So that was like it wasn't as big of an error, right? But Dark Horse pulled them all, and so on the day of, like, you know, everybody was talking about it, and then they had to come out and be like, actually, like, they're pulling these issues, there's an error, they're going to get you more. But I got to snag one of those, right? So I kind of went snooping around to try and get an aired out issue from Pat, but I couldn't find one. I think they're on eBay now for probably a dumb. Probably Pat's selling them. He's selling them for
$100 I'll tell you this,
on eBay.
I did just get a shipment of the remainder of them. So
nice.
I'm gonna.
That'd be a good Kickstarter reward or something like that too. Throw those in.
I definitely deserve to get caked up off of their mistake. You know, it was. I mean, I totally forgive them, but your mistake was dumb, though. You know, like, it was a dumb mistake.
Yeah,
it was just entirely. I mean, what happened was, it's so specific, but they built an ash can out of pages 3, I think, through 12, and the ash can was fully lettered. Then they created a full issue of number 1 as a metal comic, and they printed that correctly. So whoever printed the full print run for number 1, instead of pulling the files from the metal comic, they pulled pages 3 through 12 from the ash can, and then went to rebuild the issue, and instead of pulling the lettered files from the folder, they pulled the colors and printed it without reading it. So that is my fate there. But, you know, hopefully now more people will have heard about it than they had before. Because
That is true. Like, you know, a lot of people were talking about it. Bleeding Cool wrote about it. You know, Bleeding Cool is not covering a lot of Scout stuff typically. I mean, you know, like that. So yeah, for I didn't even really think about that. Like everybody was watching it and paying attention to it for a whole day.
Yeah, and yeah, a day in comics is pretty rare, you know, because people would rather talk about the discourse and shit, you know.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the discourse, I was going to ask you guys. everybody wants to know like how to break into comics, but like fuck that. Like, when did you guys break into comics? When did you guys feel that you broke into comics? Like Steven, like, I mean, was it like anthology work or like the successful Kickstarter? Like when, or are you like, fuck you, Blake, I still don't feel like I'm in comics? Like,
did I break in? I don't, you know, I've always been kind of an indie guy. So it's just kind of like the whole idea of breaking in, I think it's also, it sets up this barrier. You know what I mean? Like today we have like these opportunities like Kickstarter, all these avenues with which to get our work out. So unless you're specifically trying to get into, you know, quote unquote Marvel, DC, or a mainstream book and breaking into that, you know, anyone can make comics. That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of any creative endeavor. It's that it truly is democratic, right? You just make it. You know, this idea that there's, and I mean, look, you're looking at, you know, Pat, Mario, myself, you know, Charlie, who started on Kickstarter. You know, it's like was White Ash not considered like comics until it went to Scout? You know, no, because it's fucking great. And you know, Kickstarter, and you're looking at campaigns. It's, you know, it's not like amateurish, right? Like the artwork is top notch, the writing, you know, and we're doing it by choice. A lot of times, at least for me, especially, it's mostly because one, I want to keep control of my work. I want to keep ownership of it. You know, and you know, the other option, you know, the dirty little secret about a lot of comics is that they don't really pay, and if they do, they don't pay well.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of times you're actually the one funding the book, not the publisher, right? So what's the difference between going on Kickstarter and just getting a logo on your book? You know, does it make it, does breaking in mean because I have a Kickstarter on the book or because I'm making the book? You know, so to me, it's like, I don't know. I just love making comics. I love telling stories, and you know, I've gotten, I mean, to meet so many great creators and make so many great friends doing it, that I don't really worry about like that so much.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I'm an idiot. As Blake would say, I'm an idiot.
I've never called you an idiot.
No, but you say that about yourself, so I'm just kind of quoting you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. I don't ever know what the fuck's going on half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just it's interesting because these, I always say I need to quit. I need a new like tagline, or maybe that's my next T-shirt. It's interesting, Blake's Buzz. I say that all the time. It's kind of it's interesting to think. But you know, when I think a successful Kickstarter says a lot, and multiple successful Kickstarters says a lot. But also, I mean, there's also that need, because when I was in grad school and stuff, people were writing stories like, you know, like, or like, especially on the poetry side of things, like people would self-publish a lot of poetry chapbooks. But in literature, it's real snobby. Well, it's all literature. In prose and poetry, like self-publishing is not as like accepted as like Kickstarter is now. Like they're like, oh yeah, cool, you like uploaded your fucking short stories to Amazon and paid money for them to print these books. Like no one picked you up, no one believes in you. Basically.
That's real. Yeah, it's entirely different in the prose market. Everyone, self-publishing is definitely looked at as not really being published, you know, and that's just there's such a low barrier to entry, whereas in comics, the barriers to entry really is the production of the book, the funding of the art, the printing. It's such a higher barrier to entry as far as actually putting a product out, that it's just entirely different. And I mean, what also people who make a distinction between the direct market publishing and Kickstarter publishing, what they're not really getting is that the orders that a publisher has, that's not a person ordering that. That's a comic shop ordering the comic from the publisher. Those aren't all going to people. More people, in most cases, are going to read your Kickstarter book than are going to read your DM single issue, and that's just real. You know, like I love publishing in the direct market. I love working with Black Mask. I love working with Scout Halfway because they put half my letters, so they get half my love. And that creator owned stuff, I've heard more about my Kickstarter stuff every single time. It takes a really inventive publisher to kind of get seen, and Zenescope is really good at that. They've really improved at their impact. They hit a lot more people these days, enough so that they had a Zenescope VIP convention last week, and it was insane to see.
And that was just for you guys too, right? Like no public, no signings and stuff. It was just like a celebration of the talent. They like brought all you guys together.
No, it was their fans.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, so it was like a con. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they just brought you guys in for like almost like a Marvel review summit or something. I thought that's what that
would be sick too. You know, I did used to do a annual writers room there. But no, yeah, it was a fan convention. Absolutely insane.
That's cool.
Insane. Yeah. So yeah, any kind of publishing, as long as you're making the book is legit, is breaking in. You know, I think that most people can agree in a career of comics, you can kind of look back and see not really one break-in moment, but just like tiers of breaking in, just certain moments that kind of stick out as a memorable experience that show you that you are making it, on the way to making it, or maybe even made it more than you ever thought.
Okay. All right. So I like, because Charlie mentioned in the chat that everybody has a different idea of what success is, right? And then Dan mentioned, like, you know, comic book success comes when a stranger buys your book, like someone like that you pitched to at a con that like walked by your table, thought something, because I think that says a lot too. But I like this. All right. So the memorable moment of like the thing that's going to like live in your soul when comic books inevitably break your heart over and over again, the thing that like keeps you guys coming back. So Pat, what was yours? What was your moment of like where you saw the signs and felt warm and comfy and knew you were onto something?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll give you a series of them, a small series. Number one was my first ever comics gig, just getting that. My first ever gig was on Angel, the Buffy comic spinoff, and that was a show that I loved, and having that be my first ever writing gig in comics was a sign that this was a field in which I could chase dreams. One. Two was I've been working with Zenescope for a while, and I had been publishing, and the comics industry at large, like the pros, didn't take Zenescope seriously because they didn't know what Zenescope was. They didn't know that the covers are for collectors. Those are a marketing item, and the actual stories are as different from they would expect as you can imagine. So I wasn't really getting a lot of love, but then I went to New York Comic Con, and this girl brings up a short box and she puts it on the table, and I'm waiting for her to like take out a book for me to sign, but the whole box was me for me to sign.
Oh, shit.
I went through it all, and she had every cover of every issue, and they were all red. She knew the stories, and that was just like, oh wow, people do fuck with this. They do read it, you know. 3, Kickstarter, you know, for first Kickstarter funded was a big moment for me. And 4, most recently, this is a bit more materialistic, but breaking 100 on Kickstarter to me was
insane, dude.
It was a big moment. It was when I began to think that I can expand how I'm thinking of this and expand what I'm doing, not only on Kickstarter, but in the entire way that I operate, you know? And yeah, there are other moments too, but those are the big ones for sure. Those are the ones that I think are the most impactful and interesting stories. And there's other small shit, like the fact that I was like in a room with R.L. Stein eating pizza. That was meaningful to me. It's not really impactful.
Yeah, that would be crazy to me.
Breaking the comics, you know.
I love that he's writing comics like now. I think that's so sick. Because I used to. Okay, real quick story about to make it about me as always. But like when I was a tiny Blake in grade school, I've mentioned like the book fairs and how I miss those. They would like wheel in the bookshelves on wheels with all the books like pre-set up in them and stuff, and like set it up in the hallway at school. And every class like had a time slot, and we'd get to go, and like parents would give us money to buy books. Well, they weren't letting they let me buy Goosebump books in like second grade because they said I needed a higher reading level than like what we were supposed to be reading. And then I started this whole like I was special for like a day, and then everybody got mad. They're like, it's not fair, Blake gets Goosebump books and we don't. They're like, fine, everybody can get Goosebump books. But then I like looking back now, like my friends who weren't accelerated or whatever, like they also read those books. It's not like I had to like help people read them. Like this word means this. Like and so anyway, and now I'm not. I was smart as a kid, and then I ruined all my brain cells. I think maybe, but like I just love Goosebump. Like Goosebump books are like super like important to me, and also like a way that I got one of the ways I got into horror, and also just like I love reading so much, and that was part of why like I was obsessed with that. So yeah, if I was to like sit next to R.L. Stein eating pizza, like holy shit, I would that'd be fucking nuts, man. Like he's an icon. But all right, so Mario, what would yours be? Like what's your $100,000 moment? That's a good
Yeah, I think it's when Rich Johnston followed me on Twitter. I was like, yes, I'm finally a creator now. I'm gonna be in those mega posts he makes. My first Kickstarter was Ashes, which I did with Carl Slominski, and that got picked up by Z2. So I think when I did a book signing at a Barnes and Noble in Philadelphia, I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Haven't really done one since. But honestly, I feel like I'm still kind of breaking in, right? There's little moments, like when Kilchella got picked up from Scout, that felt like a big victory. And then when the press release came out and we saw a lot of positive feedback or even reviews, like what you did.
Lately, talk about that for a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Lately, with Fogline, Fogline was a random throwaway idea I had on Thanksgiving dinner in 2020 that I just excused myself, my family, and just sat down and just wrote it on my phone. The outline, and seeing how people were really connected with that one, or reached out. That lately has, been getting reached out by some editors to pitch ideas to them rather than me having to bring a whole packet and pitch it to an editor. That feels pretty cool, but I honestly, until I'm buying Teslas and houses like the guy who did Venom, I don't know if I'll ever feel like I'm gonna make it like that. But Johnny Cakes, that's his name.
Yeah. You got to do that Substack. You got to get that Substack money, and then the world opens up for you. Apparently, I can't. The closest thing I wrote I won an essay award about being a bouncer in a bar. It was when I've won writing awards from 2 colleges, but they were colleges I attended, so I don't ever feel like man, like it's not like I submitted it to some other journal and they gave me an award, but it's still pretty cool. But I wrote this nonfiction essay about being a bouncer on Halloween, and all the people who like or come up to like 1,000 people that night are like, oh, do I need to take my mask off? Like when you're asking for their IDs and shit, it's just like, I hate my fucking life. I had to fight a werewolf. Like but I can tell people that now. Like I had to fucking fight this asshole werewolf and like in the middle of the bar and drag his ass out by his fucking furry collar. And so it was just like, it was a stupid night. And I won this essay award, and I went up to the bar that I worked, and I stole like a whole box at the reading party at the college. Like they had the boxes of the printed journals there, and I took a whole like sealed box with like 40 copies. Oh, yeah. And I went up to the bar and got lit like a Christmas tree, and was like signing these fucking books and like giving them out to all the regulars and stuff. And I was like, man, this feels really good. So like, I can't even imagine what to like sit in a Barnes and Noble and have like a book that people are buying or that you can buy, or you can buy on Amazon or from shops or wherever, and so like sit in a bookstore and do a signing, because like that was a cool feeling. So I can't. It's got to be like that times 20. Were you hammered? Did you get hammered? Like
afterwards?
That made it better too.
Oh, geez. No, my boss showed up to that. My uncle showed up with my cousins. I mean, I never really see my family, so that was like, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, I think also the Mad Cave winning that talent hunt in 2020 was that was like my Rick Dalton moment. I felt, because I felt like I just been slumming in the anthologies for so many years. I felt like that's where I was gonna live and die, right? But then, you know, once Mark and those guys listed me as one of the finalists, I was like, oh, maybe there's something here. You know, I was getting ready to just pack it in, right? I mean, I'm in my late 30s now. You know, a lot of money I could have been using for real world stuff went to paying for other people's portfolios so they can get jobs. So, you know, yeah, it's just, you know, the book's not written yet, but I'm still, you know, trying to see where we go. But it looks good so far.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And then you've got, I do want to, before I don't want to forget, you got One True Love. You're going live next week, is that correct?
Yeah, on Tuesday. Oh my god,
you're gonna join the Kickstarter movement of October 2022.
You know, I was gonna do it on Hell Day, and I was like, you know what? I'm backing off. Everyone wants to get it in before New York Comic Con and before the election, because I think once the election hits, that's all people want to talk about. And good luck advertising.
It's gonna be a weird holiday season for comics, because well, okay, so like I've been doing this about a year and a half now, right? A little over a year and a half. And this Kickstarter is still fairly new to me. Like I've only been experiencing it for like about a couple years. And everyone told me like, you know, oh, like around the holidays, like no one does campaigns, like it chills out because no one wants to compete with Christmas. But last year, a lot of people did. A lot of people competed with Christmas in November and December for their Kickstarters. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I thought I was gonna be able to like put a couple bucks away, right? Like I was like still, but I do think with the election and just the weirdness of I think this year might be, and I could be very wrong, but I feel like it might be a little quiet around November and December.
I mean, it's
Kickstarter or the election.
Kickstarters. Like I feel, because so many people are launching this month. Like it's going to be interesting, like November and December, to see.
Early November, you're going to see a lot of people launch mid-October for Halloween. You're going to get a rush of horror. You're going to get a rush of horror books.
Very, very true. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a change in Kickstarter too. People used to really fear the holidays, but now I think that the pandemic really made it better on Kickstarter, to be honest. It changed people's buying habits. It really introduced a lot of people to Kickstarter. It's such a good time to be on there that I think that people are just really taking advantage of every opportunity that they can have to launch. People are going to launch. I mean, I have one December 6th, you know, I'm doing full holidays, you know. I will take every opportunity that I can to be live for sure.
Yeah, I guess so I guess I still don't know a lot about Kickstarter. Then I pretended I did for a second, but like my predictions are wrong. Like, but I've tried to figure out. I've talked to Steven about it. You know, when Steven was like, Steven asked me, he was like, you know, what are some of the other campaigns you're doing, you know, that are making money, and I told him about Pat, and I was like, well, Pat went full penetration, and like, but I don't think I don't think there's a place for that in Monster Matador. I mean, well, you know, we could do it. I think you know, some of the female characters might wish there was a place for that in that novel, because he's a beautiful man.
I've got it with his shirt off in there.
Yeah,
you know. I actually wrote it. Actually worked out perfect for the plot, but I was like, how could I do the boob thing but with a guy? You know, so I'm like, so I have to figure out story wise, how could I get his shirt off for it to make sense? And we managed to do it. So that's our running gag in there. But Kickstarter is, you know, it's constantly evolving too. It's like, you do a campaign, you do things that work, and then you get to your next campaign, and it's like suddenly some algorithm changes or something, and everything you've been doing that's working, you just hit this wall, and you're like, shit, like, what do I do now? That's definitely happened to me, where it's like, whoa, what, you know, but it's And it's, there's economic factors too. It's definitely a weird time. Costs are going up for everyone.
Yeah, and I know media mail just went up a couple months ago too. Everybody's
mail went up, printing costs. I mean, when I started 2020, I think you saw kind of single issues were about $10 plus $5 shipping, and that's kind of creeped up to like $18-20 for a lot of campaigns plus shipping.
Yeah.
So there's definitely I mean it's part of life. It's the economy, right? It just so and it's not like wages have been going up astronomically. So I think that's
the fucking truth. Jesus Christ.
So there's a lot of, there's a lot going on, and you just kind of have to figure out a way to make it work, to manage it.
Speaking of money, there's a Patreon for Blake's Buzz right now.
There you go.
If you guys want to subscribe, no, I'm kidding. It's not about it.
I feel like you need a picture of you running with the American flag without a shirt on. Like
$3 a month for the team.
3 is good. 3 is a good deal.
It's great.
I
did
it. Yeah. It's three just to help, 4 for a newsletter, 5 I'm doing a new podcast called The Honey Pot, the sweet spot for nerd news, and I think the first one goes out this weekend, and so I'm excited about that. And I got a cool little jingle. I got a little news jingle for the intro. I'm excited for just a handful of selected awesome people to hear, not everybody else. But I'm excited. I'm excited to do some new stuff and kind of push myself. I thought the newsletter would help me too, just to make me write more. To talk about stuff differently and not only talk about comics. Like, people always want to hear about Bruce, my dog. And cool. I found him with a dead squirrel in his mouth yesterday because he tried to run away, the little shit. Yeah, cool. And then oh man, he's cute, right? We're really scared that like we don't live in the best neighborhood, and like we're kind of scared if he gets out because he's cute. Like I would keep him, Well, with the dogs I've taken in off the street, we always took to the vet and made sure they didn't have a chip or something first. But anyway, so anyways, but yeah, he's fucking stupid. He's awesome. He's stupid. He's just not smart. And so yeah, people like they want to hear dogs, comics, and everybody wants me to talk about food and shit. But anyway, so yeah, that's hopefully that goes well. If not, I tried, I guess. But I wasn't gonna do it. Like everybody was like, no, like you should do a Patreon. And I was like, why? Like who the fuck am I? Like no one wants to pay me. And then a couple people did, so that's interesting. And so if you were like a talented person, like Mario or Steven or Pat, like I would do, you could do like charge for your Substacks, charge for your Patreons, like get that fucking money, man. Like I don't, it's people fucking pay for anything apparently.
I want more about your cooking, Blake.
That still freaks me out. Like I remember like when I interviewed Steve Orlando and Steve was like talking to me about cooking and then like every now and then like he'll comment on a food pic and I'm like, the writer of fucking X-Men just like liked and commented my fucking sandwich. Like what weird world am I living in? But yeah, anyways, but so yeah, so as we one True Love is going to drop next week sometime, and you got Jay Sheik on art, and he's about to. I think he's going to blow up pretty soon. Like I more people are getting eyes on him, and he's so fucking talented, and this looks so cool. You want to pitch it real quick and let us know, like let our listeners know to be ready, have those clicker fingers ready for next week.
Yeah, One True Love. This is definitely my Paul Thomas Anderson, Michael Mann story. It's about 2 gangsters who just pulled off a heist, and they're hiding out at a friend's home in Hollywood, and everything is going cool until an unexpected guest arrives and throws a wrench in the plans. So now they start going down a rabbit hole of paranoia and jealousy and lust, and it ends in tears. It ends in tears all around.
Yeah, it's so an emotional heist narrative. Is it going to be like a? Oh no, it says part 1. Never mind, I just answered my own question. If everything goes right, how many issues you think you'll be dropping of it?
It's just two. I'm not confident
Just
in my
two?
abilities to raise 5 figures on Kickstarter, so I'm like, let me do part one, part two, 100 pages, and we're in and out, right? So yeah,
100, like so. Each part's gonna be 50.
yeah.
Or okay,
Pretty
man,
awesome.
that's a nice
That's
little.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's like an almost trade. That's another deal I like about Kickstarters is like the Kickstarter one shots, or when you get a little bit of extra meat, like with Afropocalypse, which you can get in the hardcover collection of Monster Manual, which is live right now. That if you fucking cowards would just go there and back, we could get this funded, and not worry about it. Anyways, but no, you know, I dig those. I dig the girthier issues. That's the second time I've said girth tonight. God, man, I need a new shtick. I need a girthier shtick. Fuck. Anyways, but I like this idea of like the bigger one shots, and I mean, we get, you know, every holiday people buy like the DC holiday specials, the Marvel holiday specials. Those are 78 pages. Sometimes people are paying like $10 for those. 10 or 10 or 11, maybe even more if you get like a variant of one of those, right? And then you're not having to account for shipping. So again, like I think these bigger issues, the extra page count, you know, with the price and the shipping, it ends up being a little better deal because you're not spending $20 on a 20-page comic, you know, like sometimes that gets a little intense and can, you know, turn people off. So
100%.
That's the beauty of Kickstarter, is that you can, as a creator, tell the story in the amount of pages that you feel is right for your story. So,
oh yeah, that's so important. I mean, it's I'm right now. I'm doing Destiny New York as single issues now after the fact through Black Mask.
Yeah.
While I was writing Destiny New York, my method was every chapter can be as long or as short as it needs to be. And that's definitely not really conducive to doing single issues now. It's kind of hard to figure out how to split those up. But yeah, that's such a cool part about Kickstarter is that you don't have to worry about this like hitting 20 pages, hitting 22 pages. You can just really tell the story as you should. You know, it's
you don't have to worry about advertisements either. Like
that's very true. Yeah, I mean that also allows us to do media mail to kind of not do the advertisements, you know, which is very helpful.
You know, have you guys noticed some people are doing advertisements now? They're like offering like whole page to like I've seen a few campaigns like podcasters, other Kickstarter campaigns, stuff like that, like giving you like a whole page ad in this comic for however. I haven't really looked at the prices of them. I've just seen those seen people talking about them. I was like, I mean, hey, get the money. I mean, some people do the same thing with like script overviews, editing, you know, edit your stuff for extra money, you know, or do like a Zoom call about random stuff. So it's interesting seeing like these new tiers that are going like way beyond just the issue that are being put out on Kickstarter. Have you guys like thought about doing something like maybe not even advertising, but like especially once you get like a handful of campaigns in your belt, like I wouldn't call it like a mentorship, but like having like kind of like guiding a campaign or going like, or even like, for this much money, I'll let you know if your fucking campaign page sucks and you need to change it or something, like stuff like that.
Yeah. I've thought about that shit. I've thought about offering a kind of like 5-minute, 10-minute, are you ready or are you not ready kind of review of a campaign. Because I mean, I did this one Twitter space where I was talking about before that kind of like jump in all the Kickstarters that's happening in October. It was a pretty dry September. And I was talking about the marketplace, and someone said, "Oh no, there's a lot of campaigns right now. There was a lot of campaigns that weren't ever going to be ready, and you can really go through every Kickstarter and say, just looking at it, just a few things. Oh, that should have not launched yet. That should have not been made at all, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, And I think offering that kind of service could be cool. It's just a matter of can the people who are paying for the service take it, can they really take, because it's, I mean, you should be blunt about it, you should give them the real, but sometimes I think that a lot of creators have problems with the real. I mean, like, you see the whole like discourse about breaking in, people are like kind of like already kind of salty about Chris Sheehan saying that you just need to make comics, and this whole dissection of what that means and like how it's privilege, and it's just like, bro, you are not gonna make it if you're upset by someone saying that shit. So yeah, this is a very bitch ass industry, you know. So I kind of I don't know how willing people would be to take that kind of service, but if someone wants it, I'm providing.
Yeah. No, I think it helps. I think you do a lot of Ants streams. Or not his Twitter spaces, like, but he, I mean, that's a really good, he's good at marketing. Like,
I like
him doing all that, like showing his helpful stuff of like how I maneuver on social media, how I market my book, like, and then the guy does Twitter spaces like several times a week and spends like several hours of his week like talking to creatives, but at the same time, he's getting eyes on his new Kickstarter campaign. People are signing up for his pre-launch page. People are following him. People are backing his books. So he's turned into like this, like, you know, community guru kind of like helping people and providing like good feedback and good advice. And simultaneously, people are backing his book because they're seeing it, they're interacting with him, and they're talking. So that's pretty smart.
It's so smart, and it's also indicative of this. Comics people are heavily on Twitter, right? They largely exist on Twitter. That is their most heavy social interaction, including real life. On top of the Twitter app, the first thing you see when you open the Twitter app is Spaces. Stokes is the only person I see using it.
Yeah.
No one else uses that shit. You see me in Stokes space, Stokes uses it. That's it. These comics creators have a way to be heard, to have their actual voice heard. And instead, they're throwing out these little like weird jokes that no one laughs at, but people like, just to like have been seen as liking so-and-so's joke. And it's like, they don't want to try new media. It's the same reason, and this is a bit dicey, but it's true. It's the same reason why people will say that YouTube is a Comicsgate space. No, YouTube is a Comicsgate space because Comicsgate people are using YouTube. If mainstream industry people use YouTube, there's more of you guys. It would be a comics space on YouTube, but people in the mainstream comics industry don't want to try new things. They just want to keep doing the same old shit on Twitter. Just tweet. They're almost scared to show their faces, their voices, and that's why I appreciate shit like this. But yeah, it just shows like Stokes is going on spaces and just all he's doing is doing it frequently and doing it well. The fact that stands out so much shows both a strength in him and a weakness in the overall industry. It's such a cool thing that it's so easy to stand out, but absolutely no one is doing it, you know?
And it's like, free. It's fucking free.
It's free. I mean, dude, imagine if a mainstream comics creator, let's say Donny Cates. Imagine if Donny Cates did a YouTube live stream twice a week. That shit would be the #1 viewed comics live stream on YouTube at that time immediately. But it's just, I mean, I get not wanting to engage when it's kind of toxic over there sometimes, but I think that we as mainstream and indie comics creators should push into this new media because it's getting to the point where that shit isn't even new anymore. It's, I mean, we as an industry are just kind of behind in some ways, you know?
Yeah. I've done one, I was super hesitant because we had like a podcast. I had a podcast set up to do like a deal, and one of the writers was like, "Hey, let's do a Spaces," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like this is like 2 hours before we're set to do this interview. Like if that's what you guys really want to do, like that's cool. And I didn't know how it was going to go. And we like some people tuned in, and then I ended up going late night after the writers left and other people came in to talk. And it was actually pretty cool. And then I fucking got hammered and blacked out and did not remember going to bed. And, but like I tried to set the bad part of it is, well, now you can record natively in the app. Initially it didn't let you do that. And so like I set up I like put my phone on a stand and angled the microphone at my phone And and so like it was getting my phone audio and me talking, but it was just too quiet. Like I ended up not being able to release it as a podcast. But regardless, it's that's the only bad part about Spaces is when they're gone. Like you have to manually set it up. Like this will be on my YouTube channel when it's done, so the people can watch it a week later, a day later, whatever. The podcast is always there if anybody wants to check it out. Our TikToks and videos and stuff that we put out are always there. That's the one drawback to Spaces, but if you use it enough, you like you mentioned, like we're all on fucking Twitter, like we're there anyway, and you can say so much more shit. And even if people like hop in and hop out, like there's still that it's a different kind of interaction. So yeah, I've thought about using it more. I don't know. I talk too much, man. I need to
no, dude. That's what it's for. I mean, if I saw your ass in there, I'd be in there in a second, dude. That's I mean, Spaces is the shit. It's such a cool. I mean, it's fleeting in that it goes away, but as you said, if you do it enough, people are gonna see you because people are annoyed by it, which is good. They'll open Twitter like, what the fuck is this circle on top, and they always see me in there, see Stokes in there, and that's how I started to see it. I would just see people listening to Stokes, and I'm like, what is this, And when I saw what it was, I was like, oh, why aren't we all doing this?
Yeah.
It's almost as if like it's on Instagram and Stokes is the only person doing a story. Yeah,
that's. I remember when the war started, like when shit started popping off in Ukraine, I was up almost all night, had to work the next day, right? And like it's like 3:00 in the morning. I'm in this Spaces. There's like 250 people in it, and they're bringing in like international journalists, and like people are talking about stuff fucking almost like 14 hours before CNN played it. Like just the aspect of like world news and like interaction on that level, like that really blew my mind with Twitter Spaces. But yeah, like bringing it back, like it is kind of silly we don't utilize that, especially a lot of us who hop on a lot of these streams, or like we mentioned like Travis Gibb earlier, like Travis does a lot of these like creative corners and stuff. And another thing that's nice about the Spaces is like you can be fucking laying in bed, right? Like there's no video. Yeah. And I like the video. I like looking at you guys when we talk. I like knowing if a joke lands, right? I can see you guys like laugh or something. And especially when I'm doing the one-on-one interviews for podcasts and stuff, like it really helps that conversation be more natural. But man, in Twitter Space, you could be in your boxers in bed in the dark at 4:00 in the morning, and you're just like talking about this comic book you read for with strangers or friends. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole new phone call kind of deal, right? And so it is. I do think we should use it more. And like I said, because it's free. StreamYard is awesome. I love streaming. StreamYard costs $25 a month. And so like all this shit costs money. And phones, like phones are decent machines now. So you may not be able to hook your microphone up to it and all that shit, but it doesn't sound terrible. When you talk on Spaces and stuff either. And so you can just start one, and if no one shows up right away, you can kind of fuck around, and then people start coming in, and then you start talking. I like how you can kind of let people. If someone wants to speak, you can like hit a button to like raise your hand. You can bring on different speakers and stuff. Like it's a cool little deal that you don't pay anything for. That's just naturally on your phone, like ready for you to utilize.
It's one of the coolest things on Twitter. Imagine Elon Musk just gets rid of it, but no, it's one of the coolest things. And to me, the only drawback is what you said. I also like to joke around, to do bits, and on Twitter Spaces, people are scared to have their mic on all the time because they're doing shit. They're going about their life. So you'll say a joke, and then you'll just hear
it's crickets. It's nothing.
And people could be laughing, but mostly you'll just see them like smash the laugh emoji.
Yeah, it's cool. Yes. I mean, I didn't even think about that when you asked me that, Steven. But yeah, that's another option, is to just like hop in Spaces. there's a couple other indie creators that do that, Kickstarter guys, and they some of them, like Ian does one like every Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Tuesdays. And then, like, you know, he reminds people, and I think he's taking a little bit of break, but he's wrapped up a season and like focusing on his family, like, because, you know, all you guys with families and shit. I don't get it. Anyway, I live in a garage surrounded by comic books. Those are my.
You're living the life, man.
But you know, he announced it, like, you know, every Tuesday we go live, and like he would get decent crowds and stuff too. So especially if you're like a regular about it, but that'd be an easy way to do, like, you know, during a Kickstarter campaign is 4 weeks. Hey, in your Kickstarter updates, every Tuesday I'm going to go live. I'm going to give you guys, you know, not just your Kickstarter updates. I'm going to do a live update. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to fuck vent, man. Like, you know, be like, you know, I wish my Kickstarter was doing better, right? And I guilt these motherfuckers into backing you, right? Like, just anything you can. But yeah, it's cool. I should do more with it. It's a neat deal. But I don't know when Stokes sleeps, because he does a lot of local cons. He does all these Twitter spaces. I'm pretty sure he's got a day job and stuff. And then he's doing these. He's about to launch a new Kickstarter campaign. He's going to come on. He's going to be back on the show here in a couple weeks too for Decay. So yeah, Twitter's a different world. And now, like we were talking about earlier, like I'm getting into TikTok, right? And then TikTok's a totally different thing. And I've done 2 video reviews now, and the By the Horns guys really liked it, but and I've gotten some other comments from, like, you know, other people, and like people seem to be digging it, but that's something I've been thinking. Like, is it just the creators that are like, oh, this review is different, or people like watching it like, oh, that's kind of cool? And I don't know. TikTok, I have no idea what metrics mean on TikTok. Someone told me,
it's
like,
hard.
views.
Yeah.
Someone told me like views were important on TikTok, and like
Views
not just likes and stuff. Yeah. And so I'm getting views. But like, why watch something and not like it? Like, what does that mean? What kind of person does that? Like, I'm gonna watch this minute 30. I guess I do it all the time too.
I do it
all the time. I just realized it. Oh man, I'm a hypocrite. Wow. All right. Well, I just figured that out. Lesson solved.
If I liked everything that I saw and actually liked, people call me horny on Maine. You know, it's I mean, my TikTok feed is just, you already know, son.
Wear it big. Oh, terrible person. Anyway, well, guys, I've kept you for 2 hours, and this was super fun. I really appreciate everybody hopping on and you know, making me feel important when I cried on Twitter because no one liked me anymore. But no, I had a good time chatting. I'm really stoked for all your guys' comics. Like Pat, like I mentioned, like every payday, I'm buying a book from your shop, and I will have this Destiny set completed. And the cards, man, like the rabbit hole you've sent me down with these fucking cards is ridiculous. Like now I'm trying to play Magic the Gathering again and shit. It's a mess.
I appreciate you, man. I love to hear.
And we're definitely need to talk when you go live with the mixed magical martial arts, because I'm very excited for that. Steven, I'm also like good to talk to you again, and I promise not to make you wait too much longer for that interview to post on the podcast.
I'm just teasing you, man.
We're gonna post it the day your campaign ends. The final 24 hours, listen to this hour and a half interview and back the campaign. No,
I know how hard you work. I know how hard I mean, literally, look, we all do this because we love it, right? I mean, you know, so it's I know some people, I know we've talked about it, some people get really upset, some people get really mean about it, but you know, I definitely appreciate just the fact that you talk about it, that all the support you've given, not just to me, but to a ton of indie creators in like the year you've been doing this.
Definitely.
I mean, you've built a great following and audience because, you know, you're really passionate about it. So thank you.
Passionate's an interesting word to use. Yeah, I think
I didn't want to use girth. I didn't want to use I don't know how to fit it in with that.
Well, when it gets too girthy, you can't fit it in. You know,
You've got a big girth for
too
comics.
much passion. Too much passion.
Your girth for comics is just, you know.
I appreciate that, and yeah, I do it because I love it, and this is, you know, I love talking storytelling and stuff, and I just love talking about comic books. I don't get it in real life, right? Like my friends I have like kids and stuff, and we have like Chiefs football and dinner parties.
Losers. Hang around losers.
But yeah, I talk to them about, like, I'm like, oh, the new Batman comic, and they're like, great, Blake, whatever, man, like, that's cool. Like, I'm glad people.
Ooh, some guy throws a ball to another guy. Ooh, that's so cool.
But yeah, so I don't. This is the one time I get to like nerd out and stuff. Yeah. And that's another reason why I wanted to get back into Magic, was like to maybe hit up these nerd shops and like hang out with other nerds and you know, live the dream. But yeah, so I'm glad people notice. I try not to be an asshole and try to just get excited about comics, but you can't get excited about comics if they're not, you know, great. And all you guys have great books, you know, like Destiny is fucking sick, and I can't wait to experience more of that. Monster Matador is awesome. Seriously, just get onto this Kickstarter and back this goddamn campaign. It's going to be the children. Think about the war effort on kaiju. Do you want these giant insects to like take over the world? We need to get this funded to get that taken care of. Right. Yeah, they're coming for your country. All right, you guys worried about your jobs? You worried about your guns and ammo or whatever? Like, when the kaiju come, you're gonna be real fucked.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be Putin time.
You need to fucking back this campaign, so get the study guide to know what to do when the future falls apart.
So I'll tell you, that study guide is interesting because it's written by I'll be quick, Dr. Teresa Rojas, who's professor of English literature at Modesto College. And what's cool about it is that because there's a study guide, it's considered educational. So she will be able to, and teachers will be able to order it for their classrooms.
That's even better. Wow, that's even smarter than doing like Kickstarter helper videos and selling advertisements in your Kickstarter books. Like, you just put a little educational piece in there, and then you can get in every school library in town. You say, and you had questions about marketing. This guy. No, I do. Everybody does need to back Monster Matador. It's 15 years in between two covers he's worked on this, and with a new bonus story, and it's gonna look good on the shelf. And if you pony up to that hardcover, it's gonna look even better.
And at 180 plus pages, it has girth.
It's got girth. It's got girth. Oh, that's the new shirt. Like, got milk.
It's got girth. Blake's Sparrow's got girth.
Like Blake's Buzz boxer briefs. You guys get the new yellow edition of the Got Girth boxer briefs. Your wives will love them. If you don't have kids now, you're about to once you walk into the bedroom wearing these.
Hey,
boom. And last but not least, Mario, this was so fun to talk to you again. Really excited to see your campaign next week. I'm ready to back it. I'm signed up to get notified. You guys should all hop over to his Twitter. He's got it ready there to get linked so you can get signed up. Killcella is going to blow your minds in a couple fucking weeks. Oh my God, man. I can't wait for more people to read this. And it's a bummer it got delayed, but I mean, it's coming out closer to Halloween. So like, it's still coming out at a really great time. Like I said, and Fogline and stuff, the stuff I've read from you previously, you're a really talented writer. I'm really stoked to see where you go. And I'm very, very excited to get more Killcella in the hopefully nearer future. Hopefully we don't have to wait as long, but fucking hurricanes are assholes and weird shit happens. But I just am I wrote a good review for that book because the book was fucking good. Like, it just inspired me to praise it the best way that I could. And I hope more people get to read that and experience it like I did, because it's a cool deal, man. And I'm glad you wrote it, and I'm glad Scout. I'm glad you found a home at Scout.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for saying that. Yeah, who knows where the road's taking me, but hopefully people like Killcella, and hopefully people like One True Love when that drops on Kickstarter next week.
Or do you want to? What day? Or do you want to wait?
Tuesday.
For that?
Tuesday morning, my time. I have a schedule for I think like 11:30 Eastern.
That's good. That's good.
Tuesday the 11th. Monday comes to fuck you. You go to sleep. You forget Monday. That's done. That's in the past. You wake up Tuesday. You got a brand new fucking comic you can support, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. And all right, so everybody make sure to follow all these guys. We said it earlier for Dan, who said he was going to go to sleep, but I think he's still here. One more time, let's go around. I just want to make sure everybody knows where to keep track of you guys, where to follow you, where to make sure we know, your TikToks, your feet videos, whatever weird shit you guys are posting. Steven, where do we find you at, bud?
I'm Monster Matador on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can also find me at the Steven Prince on Twitter and monstermatador.com.
Nice.
And I just downloaded TikTok, so we'll see.
Oh, I think you just downloaded Twitter. What?
Yeah,
where you been? Who have I been talking to? What the fuck? No, yeah, TikTok's an interesting journey. Don't be scared of TikTok. I've been scared of TikTok for months. I've been on it fucking 2 days. It's not as god awful as it seems. And man, there's some real attractive people on there dancing around and doing weird shit.
Gang shit. Oh yeah.
Who'd have thought? Mario, what about your socials, man? Where do we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the other Mario C and on Instagram at another Mario C.
All right, and last but not least, the six-figure man, Pat Shand.
I'm at Pat Shand on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans, Pornhub, UJID, I'm out of sight. Bang Bros. There we go.
Side note, do you guys remember when like video game trailers and movie like scene would leak on Pornhub, and they would like a video game trailer before it like aired at E3 or something like popped up on Pornhub out of nowhere, and like all these people were watching it, and then all these people like went to Pornhub to like, it wasn't Final Fantasy, but that's just the name that popped in.
No, I mean, I do not remember that. I was not there looking for that shit.
Yeah, right. Like
if there was a video game called Titty Fuck, I might have seen that.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's fun.
Yeah, there's Larry games.
Yeah, there's like.
Oh, dude, no, I did not catch that one.
Anyway, yeah, it happened a couple times, and also I think a couple bootleg like big Marvel movies or something like before they came out like on DVD and stuff like they took them down like real quick. But it's just weird that like these. Who would have thought, man? Could you imagine like how shitty that would be? You're just like having a grand old time, and then like a fucking Hot Wheels 8 racer trailer pops up on your fucking like when on the next video, and you're like, "What is this?"
That would be
a this.
Like, yeah, a trailer for Insidious comes up. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I'm done. You know.
In a world, shut up. All right, well, guys, unless anybody has anything left to say, I'm gonna wrap up the show tonight. Again, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was super fun chatting.
Thank you,
audience, thank you for hanging out and talking and chatting. Charlie, it was good to have you in the chat. The news today was super big, and I just hope it sounds like it's going to be a good thing for you, and I sure hope it is. And I'm excited to see if it gives you more time to give me more white ash. I'm fucking dope. I'm cool with that. So that's cool. We'll just keep that. But everybody who listens, who watches, who goes to my TikTok, who does whatever, Patreon subscribers, you're all fucking lovely. I can't believe you give me money, you fucking weirdos. I so appreciate it though. Everybody, be nice to each other. Buy tons of comics. Remember, love more, hate less, read comics. We're here every week doing something. We'll be back. Have a great night and a happy Wednesday and a better Thursday. And remember to get on Kickstarter and give all these guys your money. That's all they need is your money.